What's up, webheads? Guys, I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Today, I'm bringing you another episode of Spider-Man Weekly as I am continuing that coverage on what the hell happened to Mary Jane, Peter Parker, and who the hell is that guy, Paul? So today, we're talking about Amazing Spider-Man issue 22 as we have Spider-Man confronting this Mayan god thing that Benjamin Rabin actually worships, and he wants to become one with this god. Well, in the last issue of the Amazing Spider-Man, we got to see Mary Jane and Peter Parker wind up getting transported to this other world that this creature, I guess, destroyed. You're gonna have more questions than you ever did before. At least I did anyway. So let's talk about this book with the artwork. You guys all know who's doing the artwork at this point. You got John Romita Jr., right? But there are some fight scenes in here, I'm not gonna lie, that I tend to like. You just feel the punishment that Spider-Man always goes through when he's battling a bad guy, whether it's the Vulture, the Hobgoblin, this thing. I mean, he's just getting his butt kicked. And I actually like that. You feel the intense action in the comic book. Besides those scenes, I feel like John Romita Jr. is horrible at drawing those faces and proportions. So in this comic, this has to do with totems and the web of life. Like, man, do we have to really go there with this comic book? Like, I am so over different dimensions and Spider-Verses and all that stuff, but it's discussed in this comic book. And we see Peter Parker and Mary Jane come together, and we meet Paul. And Paul is actually in this dimension, and he was a colleague with Benjamin Rabin, and he sent him here to do all these readings and all this stuff, and now he's in this dimension, right? Kind of weird. And the next thing you wind up seeing is that this creature breaks through the portal and is trying to attack Spider-Man. So, the sacrifice can be made so Benjamin Rabin can be this part of this god creature and whatnot. And we see that device. Remember from that very first issue when you see Peter Parker in this big crater and he's breathing really heavy and he had that device in his hand? Well, he actually creates that in this issue. So things are starting to come together now. There was this huge discussion with Peter, MJ, and Paul on who should go back and get help to stop this creature. And so after some much debate, it was forced that Peter Parker or Spider-Man winds up going back home to Earth to try to find help. In the meantime, while that actually happens in this comic, we see he's pushed through the portal and destroys the creature and cuts it in half. Now, is the creature actually dead? Is there no more creature? It sends Spider-Man hurling through, I don't know, time, space, different dimension, and he winds up landing, which looks like on that crater that you saw what opened up in the first issue. And that's kind of how the issue ends. So yeah, I have so many more questions. It's like, what happened to the creature, right? Is it in play anymore, or is it actually dead at this point forward? How much time passes now since the time that Peter Parker lands in this crater, right? And MJ comes back to this Earth. Do her and Paul get it on in this dimension, and then they have kids? Are they different reality Mary Janes? I don't even know. My brain hurts so bad. I don't understand. And it's driving me crazy. And I guess it's meant to be like this puzzle, right? And the pieces are starting to come together. But it's not that it was bad. I just have so many more questions, and I want to know how she has kids and how this relationship developed, if there is truly a relationship or is this alternate universe. Because it's like, I don't care how long you were not getting some action, right? You're always loyal to Peter, right? You can't just sit there and, get tagged by Paul and sit there and go, oh, someone going to have kids. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Maybe this is like magic based and they're forced to be together to keep the creature away. There's so many weird things I have questions about. And maybe it's just my little small-minded brain not understanding everything that's going on in this comic book. But it's out there, dude. It's like out there. Hopefully Zeb Wells can put it together. We still got a couple more issues before these big issues compile, and maybe everything makes sense once you're done reading it all. But at least we got where Paul came from. Now we need to find out that relationship aspect. So, at the end of the day, it wasn't the worst issue of Amazing Spider-Man I've ever read by far. The beginning of this book has Kamala Khan forced in the comic once again, where she's like spying on Norman Osborn's Gold Goblin armor, and he's like, shoo away, little girl. It's like she's so forced in this comic book, she should not even be there, right? But yeah, that's my thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man. Wasn't bad. I just got more questions than I ever did before. So let me know in the comments below. Do you have any theories, thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, answers? Let me know all that stuff. My coverage is here while this story is going on and while we have good Amazing Spider-Man stories to talk about. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon. If you love this content, I'll leave you more content right here. This is my Worthy Ones video where I talk about this week's newest #1 issues that came out. And, of course, guys, as always, keep buying, keep collecting, but more importantly, always read your comics. Guys, I'll see you real soon. Bye.